Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So today's video was something that actually cracked me up. It was made by an African American man talking about his visit to London. Let's just go right ahead and roll the clip.
Ooh, TikTok, I gotta get this one off my chest. Let me tell y'all something about these black people out here in London. I don't like them. I don't like them. You know what? I can't even put shit on my head because I gotta get this one off my chest. The difference between Africans and African Americans could not be more clear to me. These bitches out here, I gotta pour up a drink. Just 1 second. Let me just start by saying that it ain't no sense of fucking unity out here. Now in America, I can go anywhere and I can feel real comfortable talking to any black person, no matter what type of black person you is. Rich, poor, fat, skinny, tall, short, it don't matter. Over here, I was ready. Oh shit. I was ready to knock all their asses out. Listen, these motherfuckers act like y'all not the same color over here. Damn, what I did to my finger. Damn. I've been over here trying to navigate, getting around. And when I stop and try to ask motherfuckers for help, motherfuckers just been looking at me crazy as if like I'm beneath them or something. And then the few ones that I have talked to, I just be like, damn, where's the fuck unity over here? Like, what's going on? And they be like, oh no, we're all kind of just like to ourselves. We don't really say much to each other. And that be our motherfucking issue right now. That's why these bastards be over here talking about y'all and saying whatever and whatnot. Because y'all bastards don't take up for yourself. And not only do y'all not take up for yourselves, y'all don't take up for each other. Would not fly in the States. Period. It was this one bald head bitch, y'all. I was in the train station. I was trying to get directions from her, y'all. She tooted her nose up at me. Bitch, I will drag you by your motherfucking hair follicles on your scalp. Like, for real, y'all, she looked at me with disgust. And here I am coming up being all friendly, finally happy to talk to a black person. And I'm like, damn, bitch, I really two-piece your bald head ass. I was telling somebody, like, this is the product of y'all not really coming together as one. You let these motherfuckers trick y'all into thinking that I don't even know how to fucking explain it, y'all. Now, America's history ain't peaches and cream, but one thing's for certain and two things for sure. We black people got each other's backs in our fucking country. To hell with this shit over here. I'll line all y'all motherfuckers up and bulldoze through all y'all bitches. And then ship your bodies back to the country you came from.
Okay, first of all, that guy is dramatic. Anyway, you know, I think he just has a larger than life personality. I went through some of his videos and he just has a way of dramatizing stuff and speaking, and it's kind of entertaining, right? Let's just go ahead and play people's responses to what he had to say.
Tell y'all something about these black people out here in London. I don't like them.
Okay, let me tell you your first mistake. No hate to you, but let me tell you your first mistake. You were included. Second mistake. Everybody in Britain knows that London is not a friendly place. Like, London is not a friendly place. Londoners do not like being stopped to ask for directions or whatever the hell. If you want a friendly chat with a stranger, go up north. And I am very qualified to speak on this because I spent the first half of my life up north in Liverpool and then the second half down south in London. Thirdly, when strangers come up to you in the street in London, it's usually to either get you to sign up to something, scam you, or harass you for your number. So our default reaction is standoffishness. There is a lot of beautiful solidarity and community among black people in the UK, but the streets of London, South London especially, is not where to find it. What you've described, babe, is a typical London tourist experience. I'm sorry to tell you.
Ooh, TikTok, I gotta get this one off my chest.
I ran across this TikTok and I just had to make a response video. The first thing that was really annoying about it is how it absolutely went viral. Anytime a black person is degrading to someone else in their community, anytime it's negative, anytime it promotes the gender war, you will see that it becomes so popular, it becomes viral. People like myself who've been on social media for almost 10 years now, promoting unity, promoting the continent, promoting black love, we never get the shine that people with this attitude get. That's the first part. The second part is that I think it's very important that Americans, understand that there's so many different ways of life, so many different cultures, so many different moments of life happening outside of America. I am an international traveler who has been to over 20 countries and lived in 3. I currently live in Ghana after migrating from the UK. In America, Americans, and this is not a black or white thing, are really socialized to think that their way of life is superior, their way of life is the only way of life, and if people are not in unison with that, something is wrong with those people. In this stitch, this gentleman went to the UK and he felt that, the black people maybe he tried to interact with or talk to were a bit rude to him, or a bit standoffish. But to understand this is to understand the nature of people in the UK in general. It screams to me, I'm not a traveler. It says I'm not open-minded. It says I think the world revolves around me. I think what would have been more appropriate would have been observing your surroundings. Is it that they don't want to talk to you? Which, they might not want to talk to you based on the way you're ranting in this video. Is it your approach? Is it your vocabulary and language? As someone who not only lived in the UK, because I assume this person was just on a brief trip, I've never had this experience from people in the UK. I actually found them quite friendly. And I also want to say that it's interesting that Americans, when they get in the international community, they forget all the drama that's happening back over on their side of the pond. Let's not make it like there's black unity in America, because I know, born and raised in Ohio, that is a lie.
He over here like,
brother, my apologies for the experience you've had in London, yeah? These fuckers are just so fucking trapped, back-minded. These fuckers over here, they're busy. They're too busy. They're busy trapped within whatever fucking racism shit that they're fucking caged in. And you'll think a caged individual will fucking wise up at some point to be like, oh shit, I am caging myself by having this fucked up, flawed mentality. But nah, they keep hating the white people. They scream Black Lives Matter, but still shanking their own people. And if you disagree with their fucking flawed, fucked up mentality, you somehow become an enemy yourself, because they don't want to hear let's build our black people Wakanda style, let's unite. They don't want to hear that.
what's going on? And they be like, oh no.
So I'm going to do the water effects because of TikTok, and also my yanni is very wet right now. I will advise to go back and watch his video. This is an American guy that went to London. He had a bad experience, he said. Now, my favorite artists are from the UK. They're very sweet, spiritual girls that I listen to. Most of them are from, maybe he was in the bad part. And I'm Jamaican. I'm a Caribbean girl. I was raised around white people, and I'm not going to say I don't have the Caribbean culture in me because of being in America. But I still am Caribbean, but I don't do that race stuff. I don't like to be put in a box with people that I don't know just because I have the same skin color and the same hair texture. And I honestly, if I was in London, I would have asked a white person and not someone that was just colored. I'm not going to lie. I would have asked a white person, not someone that's colored. And I'm not someone that is trying to, if I wanted to deny my skin color, I would have bleached my skin. The African people are very racist, and they're the reason why I know about skin bleaching is because when I go to my Caribbean grocery stores, there's always skin bleaching cream in there, and that's because the reason why is because they use that very heavily a lot. Cairo and stuff like that, they use this very heavily. Now in the video, the guy has stated that in America that they have unity and You guys, you guys say black people. I don't call you guys black people. I'm going to say cocoa people. It's just rude to call you black. Is your color, skin color, the color of a TV screen when it turns off? You should answer that question for yourself. But anyways, the Cocoa American people, he said there is unity, and that's very much so not true. And that's proven by this app with these black American males. Like, I've had so many black American males, not knowing that I've lived with white people. I've been with white men. I lost my virginity to white men, not knowing that and they were interracial couple with a white girl and just looked at me, instantly thought I was an American person, and just thought I was looking at them because I was jealous of him being with someone that's another color. I don't like you. So, like, there is no unity here. Like, these people, like, especially the black American males, they are the main cause of racism. Like, they are very much so racist. And hearing these people growing up, there is not unity. Black American males are at the same level of racism with white men. So that's not true. And African people are very, very much so racist. I don't know how they can think they're better than somebody when you have to come over to, which is really white men and cocoa women's countries, because black males are just really props. This is white men and cocoa women really country. And they like to say they're better than somebody when you have to come here. This is why I said that African people should not have black-owned business signs in their stores, because they did not go through what American people did here. And they're using that to get business.
I don't like.
Okay, so first of all, my heart goes out to this person, because you could tell, like, they're really struggling to make community, and they're feeling isolated, and they're feeling really frustrated by that. So, like, honestly, I'm sorry you're going through that, because that is tough. But as a black American that's in London, I wanted to share my perspective and on what might be going on maybe. So number one, this person's accent sounds like they're from either the South or the Midwest. And these are generally way friendlier than other parts of the country. So like me, I'm from Boston, where people don't really talk to each other like that, unless you're in a neighborhood where there are a lot of people from the South or a lot of people from countries where people are a bit friendlier, right? I've asked people for directions at home, and people have walked right by me. Right by me. But for part of my life, I lived in North Carolina with my grandmother, and there, everybody says hi to everyone. And I mean literally everyone. I mean, you'll be driving in the car and someone outside the car will be waving, hey. And I'm over here thinking, are you my cousin? Like, what's going on? So to me, coming from Boston, it was like extra friendly, and it was a lot, and it was overwhelming. But for them, that was like the normal way of life, you know? So it makes sense that if this person is coming from the South or the Midwest, where people are extra friendly, that this is going to feel like more cold and isolating. Where me coming from Boston, people are, it's like the same, are actually slightly more polite, in my opinion. Also, I think it depends on where in London you are, because I stay in North London, and believe it or not, I know the London people are gonna be like, girl, what? People here are more likely to give me a head nod or smile or say good morning if I say good morning. I'm not gonna lie, I have not had that experience in East, and I have not had that experience in South. I'm never in West, so I can't say nothing about West. But so where you are in London is also gonna play a part. And I think also we have to think about language barriers as well. Like, some people might not know, we might be like, hey, how you doing? And they just might not know what we're saying. You know what I mean? So that's another part. And then also, unfortunately, you might be getting caught up in the slight tension. So according to my British friends, there has been some tension between like African folks and Caribbean folks here in the UK. And so there is a possibility that you're catching a little bit of that smoke, unfortunately for you. But yeah, man, I mean, my main thing is, you know, there are friendly areas. There are some friendly people. There are hella expats out here. And yeah, I hope you find your crew, and I hope you find your folks. And you know what I mean? So you can have a community and feel okay here. But yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
This one off my chest.
It is always best when travelling distant foreign lands to find comfort within wisdom. Clearly you left your wisdom in your other trousers, because you went to a foreign nation and expected to be treated as you would have been in America. But any Brit will tell you that it's not just the black people of Britain, but it's most Britons in London that are reserved and don't really talk much. And let's be fair here, because they're not doing it because they think they're better than you. That is just the fucking culture there. And any idiot with 3 fucking stamps on their passport will tell you that cultures differ from nation to nation. And to be fair, why are you mad at them? You're the one that intruded on their lives. You're the one that took time out of their day to interrupt them. And then when you didn't get the response you wanted, you put them on blast on the internet. If anything, they should hate you. Let's be real here, friend, for a minute, because you are not the center of the universe. You will never be the center of the universe, and you have never been the center of the universe. Humans have this amazing ability to automatically think that just because they're used to a certain degree of treatment, that everyone should treat them that way. No. That's not how the world works.
So he goes on to say that we're not unified. I've seen certain African Americans come on here and say maybe it's because they didn't have a civil rights movement, they didn't have an MLK, they didn't have a Harriet Tubman. And what I have to say about that is, when you travel out of the US and you're going to places like Europe, you're going to Britain, you're going to Africa, you're going to the Caribbean, right? You need to decenter your experiences as an African American and start looking at things through a more nuanced lens. Black British culture is not the same as African American culture. Black British history is not the same as African American history. Black history is far more vast than African history. People mentioning not being unified because we didn't have a civil rights movement, so we didn't have an MLK, disregards all the activists that actually were doing their thing in Britain. So this is a very interesting, I hope it continues, but I think there needs to be an established understanding that we are not an extension of African Americans, and also Black British. Within the Black British diaspora, there are different cultures. I'm African Caribbean. My family came here through Windrush, and my mum's family came here through the Mayflower. Black British Africans are completely different from Black British Caribbeans, and so on and so forth. South Londoners are going to be completely different to like North Londoners. So you can't really make sweeping statements about how you were treated in certain areas.
Hi. First things first, I've got to ask you a question. Why did you bother travelling? Why did you bother leaving a part of the world where you are responded to in the way you see is fit? Because that's part of this problem, is that you've travelled and you want the world to be the way you see it, and the way you have conjured up some ideology or some preconception. It's a preconception that you have of the way the world should be. Afraid that's not how it works. Okay, let's start. You were in London. Londoners, no matter what their ethnicity is, are not the friendliest bunch. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, they're not the friendliest bunch. Like, traveling, you know, like I remember going to school, I didn't like on the tube or anything, or just in London in general, people do not just come over and start conversations. That brashness is very American, and that's why I asked, why did you bother traveling? Because you want everybody to be an American, because that's the way that you guys do it. Nobody in Britain does it like that. Like, I don't know why you bothered. Like, you have decided that this is what the world will be. You seem to think having brown skin or black skin is a monolith, and you talk about that unity. You know that Africa, if you were talking to Africans, because sometimes you may not have been talking to an African, just because their skin's brown doesn't make them African or their skin's black. You know, there are 54 countries in Africa. They don't all get along. They don't all like each other. Just because they've got brown skin, there's no unity. Like, it's farcical, the stuff that you're saying. And no, they don't think they're better than you. The whole world thinks they're better than Americans. That's the problem, is that you come off as so pushy and so arrogant. as Americans in general, no matter what your ethnicity is you're in everybody's face. You know, and you've travelled, and you know, I think Americans, the school of Hollywood has absolutely f***ed you guys up, because you think that the world is waiting to be visited and being influenced by you. We all have very long histories too, and I'm afraid your travel is wasted.
So yeah, I think it's a mixture. Some people obviously are coming out to tell him the world does not revolve around you because you're American. You expect us to act the way you act, and da, 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 da. And then there are some people that, you know, are being patient enough to explain to him that it's the kind of general atmosphere that exists in UK and London especially, and all of that. I think I've actually never been to London, but I know in UK you have a combination of several ethnicities, people from different ethnic groups, black people that is, cultures, countries. You have the Caribbeans, you have the Africans there. I'm saying this because in this video I think he said Africans, and I can't believe that all the black people he met there are Africans, first of all. Secondly, I think there's just different kind of atmosphere and way of lifestyle and energy in different places, different cultures, right? And I'm sure this probably happens in America as well. Like the way people behave in a certain part of America, they may be more friendly, more community driven, can be different in another part of America, right? So so that's the first point. And then the second thing is, I've actually heard from a lot of people that live in the UK that the life over there is so different. You're not going to see the whole come together as black people, create a unit, come together, create a force and all of that. Funny enough, I came across a thread on Twitter a few weeks ago talking about Nigerians who have migrated to the UK, talking about how they are depressed. Yes, a whole thread of Nigerians complaining about depression in the UK because they say there's no communal life. Unlike here in Nigeria, another friend of mine was talking about how his friend in the UK calls him every week to chat because he doesn't have friends over there in UK. Like, it's that serious. I've actually not heard my other Nigerian friends in other parts of the world, for instance, Canada, because there are a lot of Nigerians in Canada as well, or the US. I've never heard any of them really say that before. So what am I trying to say? I think there's a general perception of UK being that it's all man for himself. By all man for himself means you're on your own. Nobody sends you. Nobody sends you, meaning nobody cares. Everybody's going about their business. I have a friend that is there. She's a nurse. She'll tell you that you can be in your apartment and even pass away and nobody's going to know because nobody's checking on you. There's no friendly neighbor dropping by to say hi. You can't go and say you want to borrow sugar from your neighbor. So that's just basically the kind of social climate that is there. So I think it was a culture shock for him as an American, him saying he comes from a society where black people acknowledge each other and, you know, stick up for each other, and then going to London where it's different, right? Even the people in UK themselves say it is worse off in London, that it's better in other parts of the UK. You guys let me know what you think about that in the comment section. And then speaking from the point of view of someone who lives outside of London and all of that, if I were to judge by the way these people are on social media, when I covered this particular story, that was when I realized how serious it was, because the way people in UK view issues about racism, about color, about race is very different from the way our African American brothers view it, right? When I made that video, there were a lot of black British people, and by black British people, we're talking of the Africans and the Caribbean people over there in Britain. You know, they were sticking up for the palm-colored lady in question who was accused of racism against the black woman in this very video. You guys, you can check it out if you have not seen it. It kind of surprised me when I saw that, because they were kind of defending the palm-colored lady. It surprised me because I know if that same situation had happened in America, yo, you guys, my African American brothers and sisters would have stuck up for that black lady and chewed out the palm-colored lady. So I'm like, wow, definitely these people don't see things the same way, and that's okay. I mean, everybody doesn't have to be that sensitive and woke when it comes to racism and stuff like that. I understand, but it's just to further buttress the point that the way these people see things in UK is different from how people in America see things. You know, yeah. You guys just let me know what you think. I just thought it was kind of funny. So for anybody who is in the UK, how do you cope with that kind of lifestyle? Do black people really come together? Do y'all stick up for each other? Do y'all speak up against stuff done against black people? How do you guys cope? Or should any black person that is coming to the UK just prepare their mind that you're on your own? Like, don't expect a community of black people to flock around you or to acknowledge you or to make life easier for you or whatever. Do you go there not expecting to be a part of a community? Because I think I'm kind of starting to understand that Nigerian thread of Nigerians in UK being depressed was an eye-opener for me. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section. If you've been to London as a black person or the UK, what was the energy like? What advice would you have? Is it true what that guy said, or is he being dramatic? And how do you cope with all of that living in the UK, knowing that this is how these people are? Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Also, turn on the notifications. That way, YouTube will let you guys know whenever I have a new video up. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.